Believe or not, we are in Dubai at the premises of the Romanian pavilion at the Expo Dubai 2020. As you know, this world exhibition was planned to start in 2020, but due to the COVID pandemic, it has been postponed 1 year. So last October, it started and is going to last until March. Believe or not, it is a fantastic environment. We had the opportunity just to turn a little bit around, and it is an amazing space that was created specifically and only for this event. And there are many different activities that are running in parallel. This week, starting from 16th of January until the 22nd of January, it was declared the week for global goals. So this week of global, dedicated to global goals, of course, is generating a huge synergy of different events where different pavilions, different nations, different organizations, they are organizing and they are developing different types of happenings. So during this week here at the Romanian pavilion, in parallel with the activities that are also developed here, dedicated program for promoting the mineral waters and the role of mineral waters in the society and in health. But also here at the Romanian pavilion, there are activities dedicated to the promotion of handcrafts, artists that are coming here and performing. On Monday, it was a very important performance of the Romanian opera here. And of course, many other nations, they are developing also their own programs. So on behalf of the Black Sea Universities Network and the community that we are collaborating, particularly we shall present very closely the innovation cluster MedGreen, dedicated to activities on eco-technologies and alternative energy sources. So with this community, we started on Monday with a very nice event. It has been a conference for activities on education targeting sustainability, so how the sustainability has to be reflected and how sustainable development has to be addressed in education activities. It was a very nice debate, and we shall very soon post the record of this event on our website. Now we are together with our partners. There are different companies. We are also waiting for our colleagues from the Igor Sikorsky National Technical University of Ukraine to join us very soon. But I see here also as between the attendees, there are colleagues from Romania, from Bulgaria, from Greece, and also we have colleagues from Azerbaijan. And for all, a big hello from Dubai. So here we feel like we are on the top of the roof, which is this global village. And we would like to start now our event. Before starting the presentations and the discussions, I would kindly ask all attendees to take into consideration two options for interaction. First of all, there is an option with chat. So you can see here. So you can see here there is an option with chat. Here at the chat pane, everybody could post different type of points and activities. And also you can see down there, there is a button which is Q&A for question and answers. So anytime you would like to raise a question, you could just post the question on this pane, and we shall take care that your question will be addressed. But also, if from the group of attendees, if there is somebody that would like to make a very important intervention or something, then please just let me know, and I shall get in touch and transfer you from the panel of attendees to the panel of panelists and offer you the microphone. So we have all these opportunities to communicate, to, how can I say, to interact, because at the end, this is an event where the opinion of everyone matters. So, once again, thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And now let's start our journey. You have seen the movie that is presenting like a small drop what is happening here in Expo Dubai 2020. And I shall kindly ask the technical team to stop sharing now the movie, and we shall go with this introductory presentation. So, okay, so I hope that you see the let's say introductory presentation. Um, so, first of all, yes, you know very well that in 2015, the leaders of the world came together in New York at the United Nations General Assembly and agreed on the set of principles for the Agenda 2030. And based on that, there were defined some clear principles. There were defined, it has been defined a clear vision for addressing the global challenges. And in this unique document, there are defined the so-called Sustainable Development Goals that you can see them now on the screen. There are 17 goals that are patterning the types of activities for promoting sustainability and at global scale to change fundamentally our way of behavior, of thinking, of partnering, of working together. At the same time, at global level, there are different other initiatives. You know very well that it is also a very well-known initiative, the One Belt, One Road initiative that started from the Far East as an initiative of President of Republic of China. And in this, let's say, vision, there is a unique attempt to rebuild the connection between the Far East with Europe, and in this, let's say, bridging process, to develop an unbelievable process of infrastructure development, of investments, and many other developments for all countries from Central East Asia, but as I said, as a, let's say, holistic approach to this. On the other side, another aspect that is extremely important from our point of view is this initiative that has been started based on the proposal of President Macron in 2017. It has the vision to consider that it is the need that the universities, they have to uh, get out of the ivory tower and to start working together with the society, addressing ambitious challenges, and to identify and develop very creative new type of solutions for all these challenges. And of course, in this process, to address the, let's call it, not the performance for having the best universities in the world, for attracting, let's say, students for an excellent option in their future career. So in all these aspects, of course, we are talking about the need for promoting a culture of innovation. And in this culture of innovation, we have as a parametric representation the maturity, let's say, evolution of an idea towards some products and services that are deployed in the society. And in many cases, this could start from university research, but of course, sometimes could start from the let's say, dreams and minds and visions of an individual or of a group. And on the other side, we have, let's say, the involvement of the companies, of organizations in the society, and of course, this process of interaction between all these parts, and the need that this process of interaction has to be supported by appropriate structures, like programs, education program of universities at master and PhD level, very ambitious scientific research activities, different types of innovation activities, and also the involvement of innovative companies. So in this perspective, of course, we are facilitating this knowledge transfer between society and universities. You have seen here the representation of OECD that is presenting here different channels of knowledge transfer between universities and the society. And of course, also a very important issue, because yes, in the laboratory, we are working on different small, tiny samples. We say that we did a fantastic achievement. We write them in different papers, and then we say even that this can be converted into a product or service, but there is a need for a huge effort to convert the ideas into real-life products and services. And here we have this valley of death, where many brilliant, Nobel-winning ideas could stop and could stack without having the possibility to arrive in or to meet, to reach the needs of the society and of the communities. I shall give you just some examples of how to bridge this kind of needs. For instance, together with University of Bucharest, we are working now in developing a unique partnership with Renault Group and the Renault Technologie Românie in Bucharest, where the scientific research activities that are developed in the Faculty of Physics, in a research center dedicated to fuel cells and batteries, are connected to the needs for the development of different type of powertrains that are requested by the market in a, let's say, very rapidly evolving market of electrification of mobility. And in this process, even corporations like Renault require some very quick response. And in order to, let's say, address very quickly, at very high professional, with very low costs, these kind of challenges, they require the partnership with very important, let's say, knowledge and research partners. There are different channels of partnership that have been identified together. For instance, the development of such a reference, let's say, powertrain integrating fuel cells and batteries for wheeling, for powering cars like future electric Dacia or other Renault platforms. But of course, the collaboration between the university, between the students, between the professors is not stopping here. There are also different attempts to extend this collaboration and to reconsider fundamentally the car as, let's say, fundamental functions, as different type of ways of using the car in the future environments, and of course, the interaction between human beings and the car in the coming decades. Of course, on the other side, is not only about the car, because when you change the car, you are changing also the infrastructure for mobility. And here we are talking about the way of interaction between the university and, let's say, the companies that are working in the field of mobility in building up the future ecosystem, the future infrastructure of mobility. Another example is the partnership that we are developing as BSUN with the local authorities and different institutions in order to promote the, let's say, integration of different type of value chains and routes of transportation with the Black Sea. Here we have the central role of the Constanța port as, let's say, platform for transport of goods, of products, and in the same time, in the future of services, facilitating the cooperation of a large geography. In this context, of course, we are promoting and based also on this partnership, it has been accepted, and there is a very important interest on behalf of the European Commission to consider the Danube as a future axle of the development of Europe. So the Danube Green Corridor that is going to be patterned based on the support of different programs in the coming years is also one of the major, let's say, pillars for the evolution of the Europe in the coming decades. And here, of course, both universities, but also the entrepreneurs, the business community, they have huge work to do together. How to make it? So we developed a model for this. We identified and defined a living laboratory. We call it Dobrogea Blue Bay. It is centered on the Danube-Black Sea Canal between Cernavoda and Constanța. And this whole area that is surrounding this canal includes different local authorities, different companies, different business environments, and we have invited them to develop a multi-level strategy for implementing innovation actions dedicated to a holistic approach of water, energy, transport, and hydrogen-based regional development. So we shall speak a little bit more about this tomorrow. We shall have another dedicated event for building up the resilience of the regions of Europe based on hydrogen technologies. But now I would like to come back to a very specific, let's say, development that happened. It started in 2012. Actually, in 2012, it started with the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development that took place in Rio de Janeiro, and the very famous, well-known Rio Plus 20. And myself, as a member of the delegation of Romania, I was attending the works in Rio, and virtually I met Mr. Hornets. You see him now on the screen. Mr. Julian Hornets, who is an inventor, who started from scratch. He developed as an engineer. He worked in workshops. He developed new solutions, some of them in defense industry, and then some of them in commercial. He built up his own company, and he is developing almost on a weekly or a monthly base new solutions for different type of challenges. And we met Mr. Hornets, and together with him and with the mayor of Medgidia, it has been initiated this cluster, the Innovation Cluster MedGreen, dedicated to eco-technologies and alternative energy sources, as an example that we, as the Black Sea University Network, we could propose a sort of model for the other communities around the Black Sea. So what is the MedGreen cluster? Is a cluster that is facilitating and promoting cooperation between entrepreneurs, companies, different type of research institutions, different other type of support, let's call it catalysts, like local authorities, Chamber of Commerce, different other associations that could come together and partner and share their resources, their ideas, and build effective solutions. So these are some of the members of BSUN. At the meantime, the list has been more extended. You will see immediately. So actually we have two very important universities from Romania, the University of Bucharest and the University of Lower Danube of Galați, but also different other companies. There is also the register, Romanian auto register, and also different local authorities and many companies. So what kind of services are now offered by the cluster, starting from support in developing business plans for the members, but also for the non-members, protection of intellectual property rights, personalized, dedicated training activities, consultancy for accessing European funds, marketing and international collaboration activities, market research for different type of solutions and business development activities, infrastructure and access to different services, research and development for innovative projects, development of products and technologies, of course, and feasibility studies. So I would give you very briefly some of the examples, because immediately after that we shall offer the floor to the companies to present their own solutions. So for instance, we started an activity in 2013 dedicated to wastewater treatment plants, and particularly in the case of wastewater treatment plants, we wanted to establish a frame for the so-called energy plus or positive balance wastewater treatment plants, where on one side to have the let's say performance of the wastewater treatment, but on the other side also to have a very low consumption of energy. So in this process, the approach that has been developed, it has been, of course, to start by first reduction of energy consumption, so to analyze all these processes, and we have developed dedicated methodologies for doing this, and further to improve efficiency of the value chain by different, let's say, added value processes, and at the end to integrate renewable energy solutions. And there are plenty of examples of solutions with different partner companies of MedGreen, how this has been done. Then there is another example where one company is coming with a core technology. Here we have the case of a company that is uh, one of the founders of this cluster, Eco Hornets. They have a very important technology for um, burning pelletized biomass on grades. And the most important aspect of this technology is that they have conceived a system for, let's say, cleaning up the grade. There is an automation system that is cleaning periodically the grade, and this has many advantages, allowing to increase the temperature up to 1200 degrees, and in this way to have an unlimited type of biomass that can be used, or different other sources of substrates that can be used. And based on this technology, we supported this company to develop different innovative, let's say, systems integrating such a technology, and you will see immediately what kind of solutions they have. Another example is the concentrated solar power technology. The concentrated solar power technology was initiated within this MedGreen cluster in partnership with a group from Australia, the University at Canberra. Starting with the 70s, they developed a dedicated program of research for appropriate sizing and optimizing the architecture and the performances of a large concentrated solar power system. And then it was a company that took over the process of bringing this technology to market. Together with this group, the innovation cluster MedGreen started to build up projects for using this technology in applications in the Middle East, in the Northern Africa, where the concentrated solar power is used as thermal energy for different type of processes, for the synthesis of ammonia, of urea, and even hydrogen. We shall have a presentation tomorrow around this aspect. We have also different contacts here during this expo regarding the possibility of developing this kind of applications. But also digital solutions. So MedGreen, together with the local partners in Constanța, we developed a digital platform for the sustainable mobility in the city of Constanța. We have the full model of the Constanța transport infrastructure, and further on the emissions and different other connections of this. And this is used for decision support systems and different type of modeling and simulation. So these are just some snapshots about how such a partnership could work. And of course, we are here to thank and to address all the questions. I use this opportunity to say welcome to Her Excellency Mrs. Nicoleta Teodorovic, the Consul General of Romania in Dubai. Madam Consul, hello. You have to open the microphone, please. The microphone, if you could open. Da. Yeah, this is perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a very great honor for us to meet you and to discuss with you about our projects. We would like once again to thank you for the very warm welcome in the consulate of Romania, but also the connections and the opportunities that you presented to us. We hope that this partnership will start with these activities that you have already planned for next week, and after that for the forum and the other possibilities. Once again, thank you very much. We hope that we shall be together with you tomorrow here at the Romanian Pavilion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now we are moving I hope that our colleagues from Kiev, from the Igor Sikorsky National Technical University, they are with us on behalf of Vice Rector Sidorenko. So Professor Sitin, please open the microphone. Yes, yes, Professor Sitin. Yes. Please recenter a little bit the camera to see your face. Okay, that's good. Thank you. So, in the case of National Technical University of Ukraine, we have a very strong university of our region that is developing this partnership with the business community. And the group from this university, they will present us their experience, how they are working with the business community, and the model that they developed with this Sikorsky challenge. So, Professor Sitin, please, you have the microphone. Dear Professor Sitin, thank you. So it was a very nice presentation. Myself, I witnessed, I participated one of the previous editions of Sikorsky Challenge, and I was really impressed, not only by this organization scheme and so on. I was impressed by the joy of the students that were participating to the event. They were believing in the results, and they were in that aura on their face that they are doing something important. And this is fantastic. To my opinion, what Sikorsky Challenge and similar other initiatives are building in our region is this trust of our students, of the young generation, that their idea can shape the future world. And this is fantastic. This is extremely important. I would like to congratulate for what you are doing, of course, under the leadership of academician Zgurovsky and the whole team at KPI, but also, of course, with the business environment. I hope that you will stay with us because we shall have some discussions around these aspects. Once again, thank you very much. Now, please stop the sharing. And I would like to welcome Professor Enrico Sciuba. Professor Enrico Sciuba is joining us from Rome. Of course, we are really happy once again for those who coupled later. So we are in Dubai at Expo Dubai 2020. And here we try to develop an event in this very special week that is dedicated to global goals. So, Professor Sciuba, thank you for joining us. No, no problem. No. No, but because for those who are coming late, we have some very important fundamental questions. So, yeah, so you know that we are following, and I'm sure also the scientific community worldwide is following your works in the field of thermodynamics, applied thermodynamics, in the field of exergy analysis. Actually, you are recognized as one of the, let's say, founder and developer or the contributor, one of the main contributor to the founding and development of exergetic analysis. And in some of your papers recently, you presented the thermodynamic fundamentals of sustainability. So everybody is talking about sustainability, and of course here at Expo Dubai, you can see sustainability everywhere, starting from, let's say, the floors, the paints, and everywhere is about Pardon? Can you hear us? Hello? Okay, we can hear you. Hello? Hello? Yeah, probably it's something with your device. Okay, so now waiting for the connection with Professor Shuba. Can you hear us now? Hello? Da, da. Domnul Hornez, dumneavoastră ne auziți? Okay. So we shall wait for the connection with Professor Shuba for a later stage. Now we are moving to Romania, to Bucharest. Mr. Hornets, hello. So Mr. Hornets is welcoming us from his company headquarter, the Eco Hornets company that is located near Bucharest. So Mr. Hornets, you are the founder of this company, but also you are an inventor, and you are developing businesses dedicated for sustainability. So please be so kind and share with us your vision regarding the way of promoting the sustainability and sustainable businesses. Deci, domnul Horneț, vă rugăm să ne prezentați viziunea dumneavoastră pentru promovarea sustenabilității în mediul de afaceri și modul în care se poate construi o afacere de succes dedicată dezvoltării durabile. Cu mare plăcere, domnul Horneț. Deci, so you can see on the screen the slideshow of Mr. Horneț in English, and he will speak in Romania, and myself, I shall summarize the presentation. So Mr. Horneț is presenting us the current situation. We are living in a planet where the problem of deterioration of the habitat of the environment is so important, became so important, is not only a hot topic, is a burning topic, because literally speaking, our planet is burning. The process is extremely complex, and we all know that we are affected by this process. The accompanying process is the process of the raise of the level of ocean waters, and this process is not just a process on itself, that we have just a raise of the level of the water, but we have also many different associated processes, like the melting down of the permafrost that is generating new additional large quantities of methane that has a dramatic impact on the process of accumulation of greenhouse gases and climate change. Next slide. So another process is that this process of deterioration of the environment is causing directly us based on the increase of the toxic pollutants that are accumulated in air, but also in water. For instance, yesterday we've been in a tour in the desert, and everywhere where we've been in the desert, we've seen different type of plastic pads and different type of garbage that was thrown there by nobody knows who, and so on and so far. So everywhere, starting from the ice at the poles to, let's say, the height of the forest, or to caves, or if you go down to the waters and different other, any place in the planet is affected by this process, and in this way is directly affecting our health and the health of our children and future generation. Next. Yes, we have different other processes that are changing the way of making agriculture, changing the way of making business, changing the way of positioning different communities in different places, because the processes that are associated to climate change is affecting very deep into different aspects of the. So Mr. Hornet says that of course we are a large community. We are closely to 8 billion people all around the world, and of course none of us by himself or herself could solve the problems of the humanity. But each of us, we can think to different solutions. And he's giving his example that starting for more than 20 years together with his brother, they worked to define some ideas for processing biomass. This has been developed in different activities in 2012, as I was mentioning earlier. So it has been established, this innovation cluster, and then these kind of solutions, they were extended to different other applications. And we could say that starting from a very small approach at the, let's say, limited level, this can have a snowball effect, could be extended. And then this can be offered as a pathway for the replication of best practices worldwide. So from that perspective, for instance, this solution of pelletizing biomass, of treating the pellets, for instance, with torrefication processing, might be used in different situations. One example is that at present, for instance, when it is extremely, let's say, concerning the problem of coal in the energy sector, these solutions that are coming from biomass processing and torrefication can be further on used also for reduction of the carbon footprint of such solutions. So as you have seen here, Mr. Hornets, he started from something that could be small and limited. So he started to prepare a burner. So the burner is almost a classical type of burner on grade. We are teaching this in all courses of combustion. Most of the mechanical engineers and from many other disciplines, they are, let's say, familiar with this. But you can invent even in the classical type of solutions. So Mr. Hornets, he developed an innovative idea of a burner on grade with the control of the ash deposition, and in this way to reduce the melting process of the ash. And in this way, he was able to increase the temperature in the combustion process more than 1,200. It might be a very simple thing. In reality, this opened the door for many different possible applications. For instance, he developed 4 types of equipment that are originally, and these 4 core technologies have been implemented in more than 80 type of products, of equipment, for different type of purpose. So from that perspective, you can see how this process of, let's say, multiplication and the process of so-called snowball acceleration could work. And the idea of a butterfly that is somewhere next to Bucharest, I don't want to say that Mr. Hornets is a butterfly, but the idea that might look very small at the level of the world, that could have a major impact in different sectors. Next slide, please.
Unul dintre slide-urile care sunt astăzi la fel de dragi și aici îi acord un merit și domnului profesor Mamut, pentru că o discuție pe care am avut-o m-a ambiționat să fac acest tip de instalație, piroliza, și m-am apucat în urmă cu 5 ani și am dedicat acești 5 ani acestui proces de tratare termică și termochimică a tuturor deșeurilor solide și lichide neutilizate. Acest proces de transformare endotermă în lipsa oxigenului cu poluare zero. Astăzi pot să spun că am dobândit un mare succes. Pe lângă faptul că instalația este cea care funcționează continuu, este unică, funcționează în mod continuu și în mod automat, este cea care primește la procesare o gamă atât de mare de deșeuri și separat și simultan. Avem aici, sunt și scrise de fapt, biomasa, deșeuri menajere, nămoluri de epurare, plastic, cauciuc, șlamurile petroliere, adică putem curăța planeta, putem readuce solul infestat cu hidrocarburi, îl readuce agriculturii, putem desulfura și scoate din cărbune tot ce înseamnă poluant și să-l facem bun de ars. Apoi toate uleiurile uzate pot fi transformate în cele 3 produse de bază ale pirolizei, adică gaz sau biogaz, bioulei, biooil, gazul de piroliză, îi spunem mai bine zis uleiul de piroliză, și din cele organice, biocearul, care, spre bucuria mea, spre satisfacția muncii mele, Uniunea Europeană a decis că din acest an, acest deșeu al pirolizei, biocearul, acest cărbune activ vegetal, devine fertilizator pentru solul Europei. Și nu numai. Experiența milenară ne spune că acest cărbune, în combinație cu solul, cu pământul, da, devine atât de productiv și nu mai este necesară chimizarea terenurilor. Terra preta de Indio, adică pământul negru al indienilor, unde se cultivă de peste 2500 de ani și unde rezultatele sunt excepționale și sunt peste 42 de rapoarte științifice de modul cum se cultivă, ce rezultate se obțin. Confirm din nou că energia noastră, energia noastră electrică și termică necesară poate fi asigurată aproape în totalitate pentru toată planeta, 25% din deșeurile proprii pe care le producem zilnic prin activitățile noastre, iar 65% poate fi asigurat din biomasa pe care ne-o dă Dumnezeu și uneori gratis și putem să o folosim fără să agresăm planeta cu hidrocarburile și cu acest combustibili fosili periculoși.
So, as usual, as all inventors, Mr. Hornets is not stopping at one point. He tries every day to develop his ideas. And of course, starting from that concept of burner, then he jumped into a solution for pyrolysis, using, of course, the gained experience and the solutions that have been already developed in advance. And in this way, he reached, let's say, very nice equipment that has been already demonstrated. And this pyrolysis unit that was demonstrated is able to convert biomass and different other substrates in possible type of pyrolysis gas, pyrolysis oil, and biochar, with many applications, some of them really fantastic as importance, like for instance, the case of biochar, which could be a very important factor for rehabilitation of the depleted soils. And fortunately, the European Commission this year declared an action plan for promoting biochar in the rehabilitation of the degraded soils. Next slide, please. Domnul Horneț, mai pe scurt, așa că suntem cu timpul puțin în urmă.
Mai pe scurt, sigur, se prefigurează o catastrofă alimentară dacă nu oprim încălzirea globală. Apoi, cred eu că tehnologiile, cele 3 tehnologii pot închide circuitul economiei circulare. Este o soluție în care visul economiei circulare se transformă în realitate prin aceste tehnologii și nu numai. Sunt mulți inventatori ai planetei care sunt avansați în experimentări pe această oprire a încălzirii globale. Sunt colegi pe care ne consultăm și sperăm ca să determinăm politicul să investească, să dirigeze legislația către aceste tehnologii. Mai mult decât atât, sper ca investitorii să simtă gustul profitului din aceste experiențe și în aceste tehnologii pe care sunt astăzi mature și pot fi aplicate la scară planetară.
So, as you have seen, these kind of sometimes might look simple, but believe Mr. Hornets, we've witnessed how hard is to obtain simple solutions, and how many hours of work and of creativity, of let's say many type of attempts are needed in order to arrive to such simple solutions. But these solutions are effective and they really could offer an alternative to the degradation processes. So from that perspective, it is important to know that there are solutions. It is extremely important to know that the mankind creativity is a fundamental resource for addressing these complex challenges. And based on the implementation of them, we could say that we really could make the difference. We could do something to make a little bit better on the planet. So, domnul Horneț, mai aveți ceva de spus? Că după aceea vreau să dau microfonul lui Joel să spună câteva cuvinte despre proiectele.
Aș dori și ultimul slide, pentru că am de făcut o declarație.
Vă rog. The last slide, da.
Dacă vrem să facem ceva bun, trebuie să facem acum. pentru că nu vom mai trece din nou pe aici și va trebui să ne punem de acord toți să facem o uniune a salvării planetei. Eu solicit statelor membre, președinților statelor membre ONU să respecte Agenda 2030 pentru că ne pasă ce lăsăm în urmă copiilor și urmașilor noștri și să declare de urgența climatică. Este necesară și este oportună acum. Avem tehnologii, putem să facem acest proces, să salvăm planeta.
So, Mr. Hornets, he wanted to point it out on the fact that it is now the time for acting. It is now the time for addressing these problems, and all the types of decision makers from different levels at different geographies, they could come together, unite their efforts, and declare this emergency, the climate emergency, and the need to develop not activities that will be implemented in I don't know how many years, but now. And this is extremely important to point out and to underline again and again that solutions are there, that it is important just to come together, to unite the efforts and to promote them. And from that perspective, I would like to thank you, Mr. Hornets, for this very important message. Here in the room, there is also Joel Delisle. He is coming from Canada, and actually he is the representative of Eco Hornets in Canada and Northern America. And he is developing projects together with Mr. Delisle. We've been yesterday also together with Her Excellency Mrs. Nicoleta Teodorovic, the Consul General of Romania in Dubai, and we discussed about the possibilities of identifying different type of partners, investors, in order to promote these kind of solutions from Eco Hornets, and partnering also with universities to develop large projects. So Joel, please tell us about the, let's say, important projects that you would like to develop in the next period. The microphone is working.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joel Delille. Actually, I'm working for Novochar International that we created recently in Canada. I am the executive director of it, and actually we are contract with Eco Hornet as a partner and entrepreneurship to promote and sell the equipment. And of course, when we start to do the exercise, we find out that actually most of our client or prospect wanted us to convert the heat into electricity. So we built a project, and actually I'm going to display the presentation. Yeah. Just one second. So the project is a cogeneration by co-incineration. Co-incineration being a multi-fuel. So it's actually here I will be using the term plant in most of the presentation, but we're talking about a whole factory that is composed of 3 sections. We have the waste management, we have the heat production, and we have the energy conversion. And so actually the project touch three main goals. Is actually we get rid of the landfill or the necessity to fill it. We are part of the carbon recycling, and we actually also part of the circular economy. All these popular words that we've seen these days, such project is actually to get zero waste production.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. So we have the energy of the future. In terms of the circular economy, we see actually where it's mentioned mining, we're talking about everything that we produce, transport, wood, wood shop or whatever, anything that you get rid of in the office or such. We have a lot of waste. All these waste, actually, there's a big effort for a lot of years that they will be redesigned, they will be reused, or there will be there will be some technology just in order to convert it in terms of reusing. So, but at one point we talk about waste that are contaminated. So the contamination of waste, it would be like plastic that has concrete in it for some reason. All this is where we come and complementary to all these efforts, the 3R, recycling, reuse, or and the other R that I don't ever remember that one. So we come in complementary to get the waste that is disposed to actually convert it into energy. So we are actually a project that is complementary to all the effort that is going on right now. So our solution, actually, so far, I came to Mr. Arnett and I said at one moment in Martinique, as an example, they need a 12 megawatt project. A 12 megawatt project means that we need a certain amount of waste. Then we need some equipment to generate the heat. And obviously, we have to do a cooperation with other companies in order to convert the heat into electricity. So it's like what we're proposing is a turnkey solution. So we prepare the organic residual material in the waste management, we produce the thermal energy, and then thereafter we produce the electric energy. And some other project that I've seen, actually with the excess, let's say at night, that they don't use as much electricity that we produce, we can actually convert the electricity to generate the hydrogens. So at that point in the project, we have still zero waste. A plant with, so the architecture will involve the pyrolysis technology of Ecornet. It will involve the central thermic or power plant to convert the waste into energy, and it will implement all kind of generator like Stirling for small requirement electricity, Stirling engine. We have the ORC engine, and some very huge project, we could actually pair our equipment to generate the heat for a steam engine. So the solution includes, that includes all the infrastructure and the equipment. So the plant, as I said, so of course there's waste. We have 1.5% of ash in terms of result. But the 1.5% of ash can be reusable. We can sell it to a concrete company that can make a high density concrete, or we can actually send it to chemical company that they will extract the heavy metal of it. So there's nothing left. Conclusion. So, sorry. Okay. In terms of impact with this project, we're talking about having a social impact. We're talking about an environmental impact in terms of everything positive. And that's about it. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Joel. Sorry for cutting this very straight, but really we are in a slight delay. But in any case, we shall have also some time for some discussions. What is extremely important to point out is the fact that starting from the work of an inventor in a workshop, it can come to projects that might be multi-million investments, and these can offer, let's say, the solutions for the problems that are in Martinique or in different other parts of the world. Actually, yesterday, you remember that near Dubai, we have seen that huge hill of waste that was generated and is accumulating every year here with the waste collected from Dubai, and the way in which this is also impacting the desert and so on. And it was really impressive, the discussion that we had also with the the General Consul, Her Excellency Mrs. Nicoleta Teodorovici, regarding the possibilities of partnering with some large investors and to make these kind of projects at a different scale. So this is just a way of how the things that could start, as I said, from the mind of an inventor or from the mind of a student, of a PhD student, working for preparing something different to be publishable in a journal, we can arrive to this kind of solutions. Now, I shall move quick to Mr. Ionescu, a different type of investor, because Dr. Marcel Ionescu, he was for years a very well-known researcher. He worked in a research institute and he developed many solutions as a researcher. And after that, he entered into the business world. He set up his own company, and Europlastic is now a company that is very well known, not only in Romania, but in many other countries, for solutions related to different type of composites, let's say materials, adhesives, and different other solutions that will be presented by Mr. Ionescu. Please, Mr. Ionescu, you can share the screen.
Thank you, Mr. Professor, for your presentation. I want to talk now about European Green Deal. The Green Deal objective is to reach climate neutrality. The approach to take is reduce emissions by 50% by 2030. Clean energy, sustainable energy, near zero energy buildings, increasing energy efficiency, and elimination of pollution. Problems: carbon footprint, toxic pollutant emissions, global warming. To overcome these problems, we need to use innovative products and technologies with futures in line with the European Green Deal. We need to achieve better energy efficiency by using new innovative construction materials. We need innovative heating paint system alternative that meets all the required points. Problems number one, the carbon footprint. I want to talk about the well-known basalt wool. Product and technology should also be characterized by the carbon footprints. We propose to prohibit the use of thermal insulation with mineral glass basalt wool because it is totally harmful to the living environment. In addition to not providing proper thermal insulation and complex sealing. The basalt wool is produced by extracting rock which must be broken down and melted at thousands of degrees. It is a very complicated process and extremely energy intensive with huge consumption of gas and other resources that are in global crisis. Basalt wool is a pseudo insulation that produces more condensation and mold than it provides thermal insulating. So we consume so many resources to cover buildings with a technology that does not have the desired effects. That kind of material have a very high carbon footprint. Toxic pollutant emission is a second problem. Some of the toxic pollutants are from emissions due to the combustion of fuels for heating, emissions due to volatile organic components, solvents in paints and chemicals used in construction, in buildings. The bituminous materials used for roofs and roads, which contain mostly volatile oils that emit extremely toxic substances. But we have solution for this. Problem number 3, global warming. Bituminous materials used mainly on the terraces of buildings, roads, and bridges overheat cities. They create urban heat islands with disastrous effects. There is an excessive rise in temperature and important contribution to global warming. This predominantly black color accumulates solar radiation, thus overheating the buildings and the atmosphere. Through extensive research, studies, and experiments, we have developed the following products for counteracting these problems. Firstly, the basalt wool insulating problem can be resolved simply by choosing spray polyurethane foam insulating instead, because it is environmentally friendly and provides exceptional thermal insulation. Secondly, an important innovation in thermal insulating is our thermo-safe paint. It is a nanotechnological ceramic paint for high efficient thermal insulating with zero emissions. It is a thermos-like paint that is applied in a very thin layer under 1 millimeter. Eliminates unwanted heat loss through structures, walls, roofs, pipes, tanks. Reduce thermal load by up to 90%. You can see an experiment of thermosafe on a heat plate with some pieces of ice. And we can see on the white surface is our thermosafe paint. The pieces of ices remain in solid forms, and where we haven't the paint, the pieces of ices melt and transforming in gas. This is a possibility to see the effect of our paint. It is based on the principle of vacuum, which is the best of thermal insulation. It is an ecological product because it's in aqueous in water dispersions. It creates a heat barrier which stops the transfer for heat from the inner side of the walls to the outer side and black. Thermosafe is applicable on roofs and terraces, exterior and interior building walls, pipes, tanks, automotive cars, trains, ships. These products we have many orders from your zone. We are prepared many tons of this product for export in your zone in Middle East. As product with zero emission, with zero toxic emission, we have Hydrotop is an acrylics without any emission, and the Europur is a line of products big two components without any emissions. No water, no solvents for Europur. Usual in technology of buildings for a bridge, many companies use in special epoxy system with high concentration of solvents. And we have solution for use ecological products. Europol is a polyurethane polyurea system for waterproofing and for mechanical protection. Formation of membrane layers for this kind of products by instant polymerization of components based on technical plants, technical vegetables, oils, without any emissions. We mainly use bioresource for the formation of polyurea polymers with absolutely valuable properties. For heating, we have created special heating paint. The name is Top Heat. It's not for your zone, but for another is very necessary. Many non-renewable resources are consumed, and the most harmful emissions occur as a result of the need to heat homes, public and production spaces. We offer you an innovative system of radiant heating paint with zero emissions. Top Heat is an infrared heating system similar to solar heating, extremely healthy, with maximum efficiency. Top Heat is a very special paint that radiates warmth through a very thin layer of coating of less than 0.1 millimeter. It is a direct transformation of electricity into thermal energy on the entire surface with a low consumption of electricity, which can be obtained by photovoltaic panels, and so the cost of thermal energy can be extremely low. You can see the surface of this type of panel who have temperature around 75 degrees on all surfaces. The investment is minimal, the results are maximum. The installation is immediate, without maintenance, without technical spaces needed. This is the only real possibility to meet the heating requirements without affecting the environment and the budget. It is the fastest, greenest, healthiest, cheapest, and most sustainable solution. Last but not the least, agriculture and zootechnic industries can benefit from seaweed because it can replace fertilizers as a biostimulator. Seaweed is a bioresource widely available in nature. From it, we can extract the active components needed to produce eco-friendly biofood. This is an alternative to the traditional chemical fertilizer obtained from oil. This is a project in progress, which we are doing together with Mr. Engineer Hosu from Canada and Mr. Professor Dr. Engineer Mahmoud from Ovidius University in Constanța. There is no need to burn the gas, which must be used only to obtain polymers. We must not burn the woods. The wood must be used only for furniture. Forests should not be cut down so much. Do not burn coal and oils they must be turned into valuable chemicals instead and not used to pollute the planet. We must use what the sun, the wind, and the water give us. Let's make them work for us. We are able to produce through innovative ways all that we need without affecting the environment. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Ionescu. Thank you for what you are doing and for all creativity that you are investing in your products. And of course, we are really happy that we are in collaboration. We have developed different solutions, and I'm sure that some other projects will come. So once again, thank you. Now we shall move very quickly. But before that, I would like to remind to all attendees that they have these two main channels. The first one is the Q&A, the question and answer pane, where they could write down their questions to be addressed by the distinguished members of the panel. Besides of that, we have the chat pane where they could raise some of their problems or other aspects. And of course, if they require, we can even offer them the microphone to come and to raise their voice here on the top of the roof of the planet here at Expo Dubai 2020. So I would kindly ask Professor Shuba, because he joined us a little bit late, but he had also the possibility to follow some of the presentations regarding this aspect of sustainability and business. So usually when we are teaching business in schools, we say that the first principle in business is to make profit. So there is no businessman, the one who is not making profit. So for that reason, the companies, they should not think to anything else. They should think how to make 1 penny more out of what they are developing as activity. The second aspect is to make this business sure enough, so to be safe enough to be able to demonstrate that over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and more years, you are traceable, and the bank could offer you loans for developing your business. And finally, of course, the third principle is to think for what is coming. So after securing your business, you have to come to the point of saying, okay, where is moving the business community? What kind of requirements are in the market, and how to cope with them for the future? But of course, now the things are, how can I say, in some sense, dropping out into a very crucial reality where we have to have safe businesses making a better planet, making good for the planet, making and coping with the requirements of the environment. How can I say, how to bridge these two aspects, Professor Shuba?
And then, thank you very much for the question, but I think you are over asking me. You should ask the Dalai Lama for such an answer. I'll try to be very brief. Thank you for inviting me first, and sorry for being late. It was very interesting to listen to Dr. Hornet, whom we met in Constanza last summer, Dr. Ionescu, and the Canadian colleague. I forgot his last name, Jonathan. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Now, as you know, Eden, I will try to answer your questions quickly and in a familiar way. The first question was, how do you, let's say, compare the need to make profit with the need to save resources? As you know, I teach thermoeconomics. I've taught it for some years. And I always gave my students, when we talked about exergy analysis and resource analysis, the example. If you are stranded on a desert island, would you prefer to have a cage full of gold coins, or a cage with some heating oil and food and water? If you choose the coins, you will survive perhaps for 5 days, and if you choose the resources, you may be able to survive forever. So I think this is the answer. Okay, the Earth is an island. Actually, is a spaceship, and we have to save the resources, and of course we have to live with a capitalistic, let's say monetary, not say capitalist, the monetary basis, but we have to find a way to harmonize the two. How to do it? We have sustainability indicators. You know that we are in a project in doing exactly this. We are trying to extract sustainability indicators that may offer a balance to policymakers between monetary investments and resource savings. And about the sustainability, I think the issue is, this may be a radical response or position, a personal position anyhow. Sustainability is somewhat misrepresented. The planet will survive even after the human race has been extinct, as it did when the dinosaurs were extinct, when the dodos were extinct, when soon the whales will be extinct. Okay, we do not think of sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, we don't think about the Earth. We think of the survival of the human race at all costs, and that's wrong. That's wrong. There must be limits to the way the human race conquers the world. And actually, we should give away the word conquer to take another more environmental friendly expression, coexist. We must coexist with nature. Of course, there are huge problems, but the problems, most of the problems are artificial. As Mr. Hornet and Mr. Ionescu were saying, there are solutions, technological solutions now in the 2022 to fix some of the problems at least. I don't want to be, you asked, I didn't want to intervene. So thank you very much for listening. And you know, I'm available for any other.
Yes, thank you very much. And very, very nice way of pointing out on the fact that we have to be conscious. We have to be very clear about the fact that the planet is not we. So the planet, as you pointed out, is beyond the mankind civilization. And of course, we have to think to our future in preserving, let's say, the proper conditions for that. Thank you for that. Now we shall make a short tour de table. So I shall come back to Professor Sitin from Kiev, from the Igor Sikorsky National Technical University in Ukraine. Professor Sitin, from your perspective, in order to promote the businesses related to sustainability, how could you, let's say, use this framework that you have developed with the Sikorsky Challenge? The microphone, please. The microphone.
Do you hear me? We are during the operation of innovation ecosystem Sikorsky Challenge. We are developing synergies and effective, viable synergies between business partners and our startup teams So that, like most of our participants, our attendees pointed out that their efforts should be aimed at acting now and saving the planet, not the mankind, but saving the planet. And they work in a close, there is a very close interface. That is why we established a network of startup schools, and business partners often give advice to our young promising inventors how to balance profit and efficiency of their solutions. And that is why we hold annual festivals where all stakeholders and prospective investors are pouring over the efficiency of their startup solutions, so that we could really make viable commercialization of their solutions to save the planet and act now. That is my point of view.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Sitin. I hope that I pronounced correctly your name. So,
yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, thank you. So, let's move now to Mr. Horneț. Domnul Horneț, mai sunteți cu noi? Microfonul.
Da, sunt cu dumneavoastră, vă ascult.
Da, deci ați văzut că, practic, problematica e actuală pe toate meridianele, și la Kiev, și aici în Dubai, și în Canada, și, să spunem, în România. Ați lansat acest apel că trebuie să acționăm acum. Dar dacă ar fi să vă ofere cineva 100 de milioane de euro, să zicem, pentru a dezvolta proiectele dumneavoastră acum, care ar fi primul lucru pe care l-ați face în zilele următoare? So my question to Mr. Horneț, because of his message, he said that we have to act now. So I told him, if somebody will offer you 100 million euros or dollars for acting now, what is the first thing that you would do in the coming days?
O parte i-aș folosi pentru a conștientiza clasa politică și investitorii pentru a dirija fonduri către aceste tehnologii și către investitori să simtă mirosul acestei sustenabilități și profitabilității a acestor tehnologii, pentru că merită să investească, sunt atât de repede amortizabile, între 2 ani, 2 ani și jumătate, deci sunt foarte profitabile. Este o energie care aduce odată pentru totdeauna o planetă curată, o sănătate a populației, că asta înseamnă o planetă curată, un confort ieftin, pentru că energia din propriile deșeuri este foarte ieftină, și o hrană curată și suficientă, pentru că mărim rodul pământului și fără chimicale, sigur, produsele noastre vor fi mai sănătoase. Aș face după aceea, domnule profesor, prima fabrică în România, cu acești bani, dar nu sunt suficienți, că proiectul este de vreo 240 de milioane, o investiție care ar aduce 10 linii de fabricație pentru echipamentele de piroliză și 4 linii de fabricație pentru celelalte de conversie, și atunci putem replica pe toată planeta acest proiect.
The Horneț is telling me that actually might look a lot of money, but from the perspective of addressing problems at larger scale, the funds might be not necessarily available. So from that perspective, an important share of this amount of funds have to be allocated, particularly to raising the awareness and building, let's say, the trust of the high-level decision makers, the people that are planning strategies or different type of action plans for allocating larger amount of funds and for building the awareness and trust of the investors, of the banks in this kind of very important and at the same time highly efficient type of investment. On the other side, of course, it is the need to develop a demonstration at a large scale, to have a factory, for instance, in Romania, having several lines for processing, and in this way to have a starting point where these technologies could have the impact on the aspects that have been mentioned. Mulțumim, domnule Hornet, sunteți fericit acum că aveți mai mult de 100 de milioane, dar nefericit că nu sunt destui. Da. Mulțumim mult de tot. Domnul Ionescu, so Mr. Ionescu, from your perspective, so as I mentioned, you came after a very nice and fruitful career as a researcher, as a senior researcher in this field of chemical research, organic chemistry, and related fields. Of course, now you are developing this business. It is hard or easier now being as an entrepreneur? How you consider yourself? Are you still lacking your life in the laboratory and let's say trying to do science based on different projects, to write papers and so on? Or do you think now that being as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you can multiply the results of your creativity?
Thank you very much. I want to work with my knowns for save the save planet, to contribute with some our products to make a planet a clean planet, more clean, and all our works are only for these targets. We try to resolve all these problems for a clean planet, for a clean atmosphere, for reduce emission, for all these principal problems for our nowadays. For this, I try to contribute at all these problems, and consider that inventors like Mr. Hornets and other can make great contributes to resolve for a greener planet. In principle, authorities, our government must to give us more attention. They have solution in their garden, but they they don't see that we work for resolve these problems, but many authorities haven't capacity to see this. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It is also a very important aspect where it is a lot of need for working and for allocating time and resources. And thank you for what you are doing, because you are so consuming so much energy. You are covering whole Romania every day, every week. I'm talking with you from different corners of Romania, developing projects, discussing with the local authorities, discussing with the different partners, and promoting these solutions. It is fantastic work that you are doing. Thank you very much. So now, because we have here in Dubai, we are at the Romanian pavilion at the Expo Dubai 2020. I am together with Joel Delisle. So he is a businessman. He was involved in different areas. He has also a very comprehensive education path. And from that perspective, as let's say from the professional perspective, on the other side from business perspective, what is the take out of these meetings that you had here? And what kind of conclusions you have for making more sustainable your way of making business and profit in Canada? In Montreal, actually, isn't in Canada, yes.
No. First, this is my first experience. And I believe that after this, actually, after these 2 days, we still have a lot of work to do. And as a conclusion, I would say that to convince the people is actually very hard. It's always an ongoing. How would I say so? It's an ongoing process to teach people in order to make them realize what's going on, and then how we're going to do it. And it's always in the context of entrepreneurship too, where people actually at some point want to make business. And well, conclusion, still a lot of work to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So actually, this is what we are achieving always, be both in business, either in education or in scientific research. So we make a lot of effort. We make a leapfrog, smaller or bigger. And then when we are there, we discover that what it was in the past is nothing. You have to do much more effort to go further beyond this. So we are approaching the end of this meeting. It was a wonderful possibility to be together and to share our views and aspects that we are considering important. It is also fantastic that we had this opportunity to have people from different regions, from different backgrounds coming together and interacting and sharing and networking. Professor Dokova from Varna is pointing out on the, let's say, very important aspect of this networking process. And also I would like to thank her because from the Medical University in Varna, she's doing also a fantastic work of networking and collaborating with different other universities of the region. Also, I see here Mrs. Ionashku. So Mrs. Ionashku, if you would like to share with us some of your thoughts, we can pass you to the panelists. We sent you an invitation to take the microphone and to share with us your views. If you want, we can do it now. If not, once again, so question and answers. If there are some questions, just let us know. If there are some aspects that you want to point on the chat, please write them down. If not, you have our email, you have our, let's say, contacts. We shall be in touch on the webpage of the bsun.org, but also under the frame of the cluster, the medgreen.eu cluster. Finally, and not at the end, on Facebook, the Romanian Pavilion at Expo 2020, they have an excellent page, and you could write down on the Facebook page of the Romanian pavilion regarding your thoughts and your conclusions or your comments regarding the discussions today. Now, if there are some other aspects that some of the distinguished members of the panel they would like to share with us, if domnul Horneț, doriți să mai spuneți ceva în încheiere, domnul Ionescu?
Să avem noroc și baftă să implementăm tot ce ne-am propus, pentru că trebuie să ne salvăm de la aceste multe reacții adverse pe care ne le creează astăzi natura, pentru că am agresat-o.
Yeah, so Mr. Horneț is saying that we need a lot of luck to, let's say, dedicate all the resources that we have, both in terms of funding or the thinking or creativity, because we did for centuries a lot of harm to the nature, and now to heal the nature, to let's say address the problems that we have created with our let's say harm, it is extremely difficult. Domnul Ionescu, ultimele gânduri?
No, thank you. This is all.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being with us. We shall have also, as I mentioned, tomorrow, another conference here at Expo 2020. It will be a conference dedicated to hydrogen technologies and the way in which the partnerships within EU, the regions within EU, have experienced the development of different type of solutions. We shall discuss again about these aspects. If you would like to be together with us, just send us your email and we shall share with you the link for joining this event. Once again, thank you for being with us up to the end. And I see also Mrs. Ionașcu now on the panel. Doamna Ionașcu, vreți să deschideți microfonul? Would you like to open the microphone?
It's okay, thank you. I already wrote on the chat. Sorry, I saw
Okay,
with
so,
delay your invitation.
Just it is important to mention that you are the representative for this common maritime agenda. Maybe you could say just in few words. Now there is a grouping here bringing together people from universities, from the business community, and also students. Just in few sentences, if you would like to say about this common maritime agenda and the kind of opportunities that are there.
Sure, thank you. Us as a national hub for Romania for implementing the Common Maritime Agenda are supporting all the stakeholders that are interested in learning about the Common Maritime Agenda or that have responsibilities in implementing it. We are closely working with our national coordinator, which is the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, and also with the Black Sea Assistance Mechanism. The national hubs in each country from the Black Sea are a part of the Black Sea Assistance Mechanism. And we are now organizing a series of meetings for stakeholders, especially from Romania, but of course we are open to cooperation with the other countries who want to apply for European funding for implementing different common projects. We have identified last year as a priority for our national stakeholders topics such as fisheries and aquaculture, marine litter, tourism, entrepreneurship. And so we want to serve as, let's say, as an intermediary to help in writing projects, in developing common ideas and applying for European funding. So if there are any authorities, companies, or other type of institutions interested in applying for funding in the topics that I mentioned earlier, and if they're interested in the Common Maritime Agenda, they can of course contact us. I wrote you the official email in the chat, so we are waiting for your messages. And thank you for the opportunity of attending your conference.
Thank you very much, Andrea. So it was really nice to be also together during this event. We hope that maybe in the coming period we can even organize together an activity dedicated to this blue economy and blue growth aspects. Once again, thank you all. Now, this is really the end. We stop here. We are waiting with all your views by email and other channels for interaction. Goodbye. Goodbye from here, from Dubai, from the Romanian pavilion at Expo Dubai 2020.
Thank you, Professor Mahmoud. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Mahmoud. Thank you for warm words and the opportunity to give presentation today. Good luck to all of you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Good.